Anybody? How many people is going to sell like 10 more years? Wow, you guys don't want to sell real estate anymore? 5 more years? 5 more years. Okay, so let's go 5 more years. So 5 more years, do you have a plan? Do you have a strategy that what's going to help you to able to step away and still have income learning? Do you want to learn more about that? Right? All right, so next speaker, Jeannette, she's going to cover the topic from top to bottom really fast and a highlight level. So welcome, Jeannette. She's going to go through a whole succession plan and exit strategy for you guys.
Thank you. There we go. Better? Thanks, right. Welcome. I'm so glad to meet so many of you and to see so many of you again. So thank you for spending some of your time with me. So I love realtor. I love being in a room of realtors, don't you all? And there's 2 things that I know for sure. I know that you all work hard. Every realtor works hard. It doesn't matter if it's your first year or your 5th year or your 20th year. Every realtor works hard. And let me see, am I getting this down? Okay. And I know you get tired, right? And I also know that eventually you're going to sell your last house. Eventually you are, either by choice or by some unforeseen circumstance that might happen to you externally. I mean, that's the way life is. And in doing that, in between that time from now where you're pulling your hair out to when you're kind of wanting to slow down, there's a progression. And I've seen it in other realtors when I was just starting, people that I loved and respected and mentored me. I saw it in other businesses that we owned and built and sold. And then when I would look at the real estate industry, I thought, why don't we have a more organized plan for this? We have 1 million classes on how to have an open house. We have 1 million classes on our database. I mean, everywhere you look, there's a course, there's a class. What we hear today is a little bit more targeted and elevated because it's from top-notch agents, but we know there's a lot of just stuff out there, a lot of noise. But the industry, brokerages, every single one of our brokerages has done a very poor job at preparing for us the next step, the next logical step. And why is that? I mean, we are heroes. We build communities. We don't just live in them, right? We find our clients homes, not just houses. And the other thing that we are so good at doing as an industry, our industry is responsible for billions and billions of dollars of equity for our clients. Like, we set up our clients' financial futures. But often we're not good at taking care of our financial future. Now, I know many of you have investment properties that throw you off some income, and that's great. You definitely want that income stream. I know many of you have downlines or stock in your brokerages. That's fantastic. That's yet another income stream. Some of you have retirement packages or partners with retirement packages from corporate America. Fantastic. All that's good. All that's good. You want all of that and more. But what about your other asset, your business, that you have spent so much time sacrificing and investing in, right? How many vacations have you popped back over to the hotel because you had to do something? I mean, I'm guilty of that. How many of you are so good at texting without looking at your phone? Because you can do it under the dinner table because you don't want one more family member to yell at you. I mean, it really is an art, right? I mean, I can text entire paragraphs like without even looking at my phone. But I also didn't want to be known for that. I was like, oh, Jeanette's so hard work. I'm like, I don't really want to be known for that. There's other things I want to do in my life and other challenges that I want to have. And I can't get there if I'm saying yes to every client. I had 16,000 clients in my database. And I liked about, 10 of them. Maybe 10%. We'll go with 10%. But yes, you're running around, and you can't say yes to the other things. Remember, was it Jessica from Tony Robbins that had the wheel? Right? And she said, I bet all of you are in the, you've probably seen that wheel before. Every time I've done that exercise, it's like work, and then everything else was like, in here. And that is not what I wanted for the last third of my life. So I know many of you might be younger than me, but I'm old. I'm older. I just turned 60. Yeah. And ladies, that is why I have this. You know what I mean. But no, really, seriously, and I know you guys are in the same position, right? You know people who are no longer here. You have regrets for people that you didn't spend enough time with. And all of that in the pursuit of selling more real estate, maybe getting some more awards, and making money. All fantastic. What I'm proposing to you is to have the idea to start thinking about what you will do to create additional income once you step away from your business. And it is possible. I know it because I've done it. Now, 8 years ago, I was in the same situation. This might be going through some of your minds. That sounds great. How do I do it? And I really worked intentionally. I had a very good friend who passed away that year. And I thought, what am I doing? I was super fortunate to be in the top 1% of agents in the state of Texas. It's a big state. At that point, 8 years ago, I'd sold $2 billion of real estate, mostly by myself. And what was like that, every January 1, you're at zero, right? You're just like, oh, the pressure is on, I've got to perform. And what is the cost of all this? So 8 years ago, I said, you know what, I'm going to start working on this. And I started working on this process to get out of what was entrapping me. It's a shackle, for me, and not allowing me to pursue the other passions that I had or spend time with the people in my life that I really, really loved. So I worked very intently on that for about 4 years. What I discovered is nobody really knew what they were doing. I learned more about what not to do than I learned about what to do. I interviewed over 1,000 professionals in sales database business, meaning like anyone whose career, not just realtors, but anyone whose income and career depended upon their database. So the dog groomer, the doctor, and everyone in between. If they had clients, they had a database, I interviewed them. All industries. About 20% of those interviews were realtors. And what I figured out from that is only about 3% of the people had an actual plan. An actual plan. Somebody up here, there was so much good content on my brain smashed, but somebody up here was talking about a plan. Maybe it was Jessica again or several people. You have to have this strategy. Only 3% of people actually had one that they were implementing, that was building for them this residual income. So when they decided to get off the hamster wheel, there was something. And I've helped people be able to garner $50,000 a year, not selling. And when I say step away, let's take a step back for a second. Some people, they don't want to do anything. That was me. I wanted to sit at the beach. That was really my goal. But other people don't want to sell, but they want to be administrative. They want to do operations. They didn't want the weekends, but they still wanted to run their team. That's an option. And that could be a variety of things. I mean, there's so many nuances just in that category. Other people were sick and tired of running the operations, and they just wanted to be an agent. They wanted to be an agent on their own team. Like, they just didn't want to deal with running the business. That's an option. And there are other people like me who were done. I really was just done. And what I realized is the agents that I was bringing on, they were doing a way better job at some of the things that I used to do. The passion just wasn't there anymore. I had kind of lost my passion. So I spent all that time researching, and what I ended up realizing is we really needed an organized kind of presentation of like a blueprint of what people should do. What I heard a lot when I was doing these interviews is all these objections. People will only work with me. I'm the only one who's as good. You know, my clients are always going to expect me. Listen, half those clients don't even call you when they go to buy and sell their house again. They don't even know your name. They won't remember your name. That's a fact. So these are excuses. You can create an exit strategy that throws off income without you being directly involved. I know because, oh, I'm so sorry, sound guy. I know because I've done it. And my passion now is really to share this information. So I took all this time, all this research. I put together a 5-hour course, which I have 9 minutes and 50 seconds left to get through, and wrote a book. And listen, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I could go sell houses, $100 million production a year, and make way more money than any of this stuff. And in fact, at the end, you'll see an email address, or I'm sorry, a website where you'll be able to go. If you put in your information, I'll send you a digital book. It should be out in about 2 months. I'll send you that for free. And I'll also give you a code so you can get into the resources section of my website. It's realestateexitblueprint.com. You can go there right now and enter your information. But I'll give you a special code so you can get in and pull out all of the resources. Oh, we'll skip that. Here's some options. Here's some exit options for you. If you have a family member and they're talented and they're eager, maybe that's your exit strategy. That's a possibility. If you're a solo agent, or if you need to get out of business right away and you don't have the years that it might take to create a good exit strategy, you could do a brokerage bridge. There might be 2 people in this room right now who say, hey, let's you and I merge. Let's divide the labor and therefore buy back some time for ourselves. Some of you might be good candidates for an expansion team who's going to support all the things that you need or you aren't good at, and you stick in your lane. And other people have created such a big business that they could be an expansion partner, like several people in this room. There's options and there's nuances to every option. Another one is you just decide to sell. What is common in all of these is your success lies in increasing your value, filling in your weaknesses. Do you all know what a SWOT is? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. It all lies in that, in figuring out where the value of your real estate business currently is. And one way to do that is through all of these things. You'd be shocked at how many people do not even have a P&L. You guys are running a business. You need a P&L. And every P&L that I've helped analyze when I consult with people on their exit, they're wrong. Every P&L is wrong. And it mostly, here's your tip for the day, it mostly resides in how you pay yourself. Are you paying yourself as a cost of sale? Are you paying yourself as, I mean, it's a mess. Trust me, it's a mess. But these basic things, basic business things, whether you exit or not in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, this increases the value of your business. It creates stability for your business. If you're going to be working, you better be making as much money as possible. You don't get extra days. Don't waste them. Things like your operations manual. Again, if you go to Real Estate Exit Blueprint and fill in your information, I will send you a good table of contents, and let's see how good your operations manual is. If everything is in here, you don't have a business. You can't scale. You're going to talk about these things, think about these things, how to streamline, how to diversify your revenue streams. If you're luxury already, I encourage you to spread your wings and take on different price points. If you work in one area, spread out and go to an area that abuts a place that you already have had success. I mean, there's many, many ways to diversify your revenue stream. Build your brand and reputation. If you want to get out of the business eventually, please don't call yourself Jeannette Spinelli like I did, or Spinelli Residential Group, because guess who they ask for when they call? So now I'm SRG Austin, and I still mess up and say Spinelli Residential. You know, it's old dog, new tricks. But there's lots of ways to increase your value. You need to do that. Here's a great little acronym to keep in your mind as you're running around doing your business. STEP: sales, talent, economics, and processes. Everything you do should go into one of these buckets. All the other stuff is extra. You can leverage that out. You've heard that all day. But if you're touching it, it needs to be a high return item, and it should be falling into these. This is how you know your value. This is an example of one of the things we do, like when we consult with people. This is a comprehensive audit. There's 17 areas here that we would look at in your business, and we will find improvements. Now, if you have a coach, that's great. Talk to them about this. If they've helped people exit, wonderful. I'd love their name, because I can't find those people. If you know business brokers, some people transition their business through a business broker. We did that. We own businesses in 3 states in health, wellness, and automotive. We've opened businesses, operated them, built them up, and sold 85 businesses for a multiple between 3 and 5 times our revenue. But I couldn't figure it out with real estate. Like, what the heck? I've done it with all these other businesses, but not real estate. Again, this is why I became so passionate about figuring out how to get this industry elevated and ready, because we deserve it. Other industries have these transition exit strategies, and we don't. You got to prepare yourself for the right partner, for the next partner. And here's some ways to do that. And you've heard a little bit of this already. I think we've had so much good content here, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time. But again, if you connect with us, we will help you with these type of items. And it doesn't matter. I think there were several people who said they were a solo person. There's a solution for you. You have a big team. There's a solution for you. You have one other agent. There's a solution for you. It doesn't matter the size. What is important is all of the information here. Are you 80% of the business? Then you don't have a business, you have a job. And you have to change that. Or what will happen is when you retire, so will your income. Now, I'll make about, I'm trying to inspire you, not impress you. Without selling anything and without working every day in operations, about $300,000 this year. Now, I kept 104 households of people I really love, and I might go and sell them something just for the fun of it, but I don't even live in Austin. Remember me saying that my dream was to be on a beach? Well, that's where I am. And let me just explain to you that in order to get there, you have to prepare, you have to have that blueprint for freedom. And that may be looking very different for each one of you. You really owe it to yourself to spend some time, I call it white space, and just think. Where do you really want to be in 10 years? Opening a door? I mean, I'm sorry. God put me on this earth to do something more impactful than that. I believe that. And I believe that about each one of you also. As you're working through this exit, you've got to learn how to delegate and empower. Remember, if you're doing it, you don't have a business. I'll tell you a super quick story. It's like, oh my God, a minute and a half. Okay, so Chris Suarez, who's one of my mentors, I had an issue with this, and he said to me one day, what do you give yourself out of 100? I was like, I think on average I'm 85. He's like, what do you give your team when they're doing it? 75, 80. It's like, is that 5% worth your health, worth your memories, worth your experiences, worth your time on the beach? No, that made it super easy for me. Handling your current business is going to be the hardest thing. Again, there's a method to it. Are you going to lose out on an acrylic award? Yeah, who cares? Do you care? I mean, that fuels your ego, but it does not fuel your freedom, right? But there's a process to handling your business, which we don't have time to go through in 45 seconds. But, and also in passing the torch on to the next level of business, your people, or selling it, a partnership, it's so gradual that your clients, if you do it right, I mean, I'm telling you, you really need 3 years, minimally. If you do it right, it's so gradual, your clients don't even notice it. I promise you. And the ones that do, that you share, that you're on, now I put things on, like, I don't care. Like, yeah, I live at the beach. And you know what? You need some expert navigators. You just do. You're not going to figure this out on your own. There are not enough resources. I mean, maybe eventually, but you're going to waste a lot of time. And I'll tell you, be careful who you listen to. Only take advice from people who you want to be like. You know, when I started going through this, all of my colleagues like, you're crazy. You're at the top of the game and you're walking away. And I'm like, yes, I am not going to be Tom Brady. You know what I mean? So it's like, yes, I'm walking away. Those same naysayers, they're working as hard as they were 8, 7, 6 years ago, and I'm literally at the beach. And I don't mean to rub their nose in it. I mean, it's just the facts are the facts. So here's the review that we went through. We went through building your mindset. We went through some exit options, value of your business. We touched on some details that you would go through if you're willing to take this on to find your freedom. The comprehensive audit, you have to increase your value. You have to find the right transition partner. The process is not easy, but you don't want to miss out on the great, do you, or the rest of your life. So here's my information. Here is the website. Again, I'll send you a free digital book. 4 years of my life I've invested in this, people. Again, I'm not trying to make money off of it. I am trying to inspire you all that you don't have to be shackled to production. There is a way that you can leave this business and still create residual income for yourself. If I can help you, reach out to me. It was a pleasure. Thank you.